This little video series is Dying Dar's Way, Radically Real Spiels on the End of Life. I'm here today with my daughter, Claire, for which I am very grateful because this is not an easy thing to do, and I'm really glad you showed up for me. And I would like to start with just having her here at all. And she gave me permission to talk about this. I have a 26-year-old daughter instead of an abortion. And the history on this hopefully will describe why I ended up creating a nonprofit organization that does as much as you possibly can to maintain your health without medical intervention. And it comes from a series of very bad experiences that I had with medicine. Now, I have to say, people have asked me to not be too hard on doctors. I have plenty of friends who are doctors. I love them. It's more the establishment that's creating some very lucrative, for the various industries, problems for the people, and I'm just one of the people who happen to have suffered at the hands of the medical establishment. And I, for reasons of having metal exposure, ended up being a universal allergy reactor. So every time I take a medication, and even most supplements and all of the food that I eat, everything comes with a reaction. If it's possible to have a paradoxical effect or a side effect, I'm the one who's going to have it, including right down to the undiagnosed or misdiagnosed problems that I had led to a psychiatric hospitalization when I was 29 years old. You know, time in the padded room and more Xanax than would kill a horse. No, more Xanax than would sedate a horse at this point. But anyway, I ended up with a pretty deep fear of medications as well. But the worst thing that made me terrified of the medical system was when two different doctors who looked at the imaging when I was 37 years old and pregnant with her, and told me how hard it was going to be to have a special needs child because they could see things on her scan that they couldn't interpret. And the implicit message was, if you want support for an abortion, we will provide that support. So her father, to his credit, said, you can't make a sale here. We'll take what we get, and what we got was my beautiful daughter.
Just a little bit crooked.
just a little bit crooked, right. The thing that they were seeing, actually the amniocentesis came out okay, and you just have a congenital spinal abnormality that has not ruined your life. She's just a little bit crooked. So I want to thank people for watching these videos. The biggest reaction so far has come around these issues of informed consent or uninformed consent, and just about everything has been on the side of, yeah, we really need to read these things, or yes, I've had very bad experiences myself with gadolinium. And one that came through from someone representing the pharmaceutical industry, and I will include that in the program notes. So people love it when it's sort of edgy and they get into the intimate details of my family, because let's face it, most families are not willing to invite strangers into their very private conversations about death and dying. But my daughter has had to put up with death conversation really since she was just little. So, like, what was that like?
Well, I don't know. From the earliest time I can remember coveting a gold necklace of my mother's, she always said, well, you can have it when I die.
Okay, so that normalized the topic.
It very much normalized it from, like, way back in my earliest memories. And we've been talking about this, you know, as long as I can remember. So it really made it a lot easier to wrap my head around once this diagnosis came, because, I mean, we were upfront about what it means and how much work it takes to do it properly and get everyone comfortable and on the same page and honest with one another about what they want from it, and all of the ways that it can go wrong.
Lots of ways.
Lots of planning, lots of discomfort, but then Dorothy did us a service by being so honest about it, and so and normalizing it when we were, it was big.
Just little, right? Well, my father's line was, "Take me behind the barn and shoot me like an old horse," right? You can tell she heard about that too. It may have been somewhat indelicate, but the point is well taken.
What's delicate about this?
Right, what's delicate? Death is messy. But the point is that the best death preparation is not necessarily what you do specifically for death preparation. It's simply normalizing the conversations as you go along. And I think I will still maintain that just starting anywhere, just finding a safe person, whether it's a family member or a friend or even somebody that you don't know very well but is willing to have the conversation, just begin it. Thank you, Sweetie Pie.
Thanks, Mom.